Capitalism of some form is the modern approach to economics. There appears to be no short-term or mid-term alternative to capitalism, both as an unprecedented engine of economic growth and an economy that permits and encourages individual liberty. Its justification remains largely utilitarian, I think. The spread of universal opulence, as Smith said. But we could add, as part of the opulence, increase of opportunities for individuals to pursue their own purposes. But there is no such thing as a free market society or an unregulated economy. And so a mixed economy or tinkering with social controls on capitalism from within it seems unavoidable. We saw even Hayek rejected laissez-faire. Do we need more government or less? I believe that is always changing and always will. That is, the pendulum of public opinion will always swing between desire for more government interference in the economic realm and desire for less, depending on the decade of the moment and the problems we face. But it has to be admitted that that pendulum is arguably swinging from an axis that is itself moving toward more government, more centralization, which scares neoliberals or libertarians. However, I believe the greater part of this movement of the axis of the pendulum is due not to left-wing politics or abandonment of the virtues of self-reliance. I think it's largely due to the social and technological changes of modernity, which expose individuals to more and more threats from distant agencies, offer more complex and expensive solutions to those problems, and hence make greater centralized authority necessary in an increasingly interdependent economic and social set of conditions. When everybody knew their food came from their own farm or a local farm, food poisoning was easily dealt with without a government bureaucracy. But when food grows in one place, is processed in another, canned in a third, distributed in a fourth, all thousands of miles apart, the local people who consume it have no way to internalize negative externalities or punish a poisoner. A more complex economy has evolved, a more complex government for purely practical reasons. Now, the libertarian might hope that internet blogs by people who have been food poisoned could replace such government regulation. The question is, could they? Americans do prefer a non-governmental mechanism, and many can argue it's economically better, but only if it actually seems to work. Capitalism is a tremendous engine of productivity and improvement, but it's always been controlled. There are no uncontrolled or unstructured or unlimited free markets. The question always is, which controls are best in the current situation? As to distributive justice, I find weight in Walter's notion that membership in society has to imply some kind of communal provision for those in need, which is almost all of us occasionally, and some of us a lot of the time. We can't ask adults to be good fellow citizens if their kids die of curable diseases for want of money, while the rest of us are building swimming pools. Membership has to count for something. If it doesn't, we are sunk. There are some things members can't let happen to other members if it can be helped. But this helping has to be balanced against communal provision's impact on the economy and individual liberty. Individual liberty, which is championed by libertarians and neoliberals, the individual's responsibility to the community, which is a major concern of conservatism and communitarianism, and the community's responsibility to the individual, that's the core of progressivism. These things all have a place in the balance.